So the question leading this Year 7 statistical investigation was, in Year 7, do boys have a bigger foot length than girls? Data was collected through a random data sample taken on the Bureau of Statistics website on the Census at School page. The link is below. On the right hand side of the page you can see a screenshot of the random data sample details that I used to generate my sample. Please note that I took a sample size of 40, although I wanted a final sample size of 30. This was so that I could clean my data and delete any omissions. In terms of organising my data, using Excel I was able to sort my sample into categories, being boys and girls. This was achieved by using the filter tool in Excel. Then using the sort tool I was able to organise my data into ascending order. Finally, using average, mode and median formulas on Excel, I was also able to accurately calculate the raw data into mean, median and mode. A summary of these statistics was then organised into neat tables, the first being a table of the categorical data in ascending order, and the second being a table of the mean, median, mode and range of the data, both separated into male and female categories. The data was then organised into stem and leaf plots. This was achieved by using simple tables on Word. First, each of the categories were organised into individual stem and leaf plots, and then finally in a combined stem and leaf plot using all of the data. On Excel, I simply highlighted my categorical data and created a dot plot. Although this dot plot accurately represents the data, it is difficult to read as the data overlaps each other. Using a similar formula on Excel, I was also able to create double column graphs. I managed to create a horizontal and a vertical double column graph. As with the last chart, it is an accurate representation of the data. However, again, it is difficult to very quickly determine who has the larger foot length. I also then organised my data into a pie or sector graph. This seems to be the most appropriate representation of the data, as at a quick glance you can very easily determine who has the larger foot length. A quick word on appropriate data representation. One thing to be wary of, for example, on the left-hand side of the page, at the top is an accurate representation of the data in a double column graph. However, as you can see in the one below, I have slightly altered the vertical axis. It no longer starts at 0, it starts at 10. This drastically alters the visual representation of the data. Versus the sector graph on the right hand side of the screen, which is difficult to alter and should always give a clear representation of the data accurately. So in answer to the initial question, in Year 7, do boys have a bigger foot length than girls? The results of this statistical investigation suggest that in Year 7, girls actually have the larger foot length than boys by 0.6 of a centimetre. What meaning can we take from these results? Results of this investigation should not be generalised beyond the sample and application to real-life predictions, as these results may only be true to the sample used. Foot length growth rates may vary beyond the investigation, and therefore this should only be seen as a very general snapshot of foot length variations between boys and girls in Year 7. Finally, just a word of caution in terms of statistical investigations and organising your data. For accurate results, make sure that you clean your raw data and delete any omissions before continuing on in your investigation. Ensure that all graphs, charts accurately interpreted using data, i.e. have all of your graphs starting their axes at 0. Understand that results are only a generalisation of the sample size of data within specified parameters collected to conduct the investigation. Thank you for listening.